Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yeah, so I have noticed over the years, this man portray himself as like he's one of the most decent and ethical Jamaican. Yeah, Dr. Trevor Munroe. And we at the I, Christopher Porter, can tell you that Dr. Trevor Munroe has no integrity. This man has issued 2 M16 rifles and 2 9mm pistols to 2 of my cousins in East Kingston. And I am going to elaborate. Yes, one of my cousins, one of them is dead, one is still alive. I can call their names if need be. Reason being, it's because of my experience growing up in the Kingston metropolitan area. These cousins are related to my mother's side of family. Yes, and they were all over in the Kingston metropolitan area. I'm not gonna name the gully out by East Kingston, also Warwick Isle. They were living. So many Jamaicans. So this man, he has no integrity. I can tell you that. These are people that are supposed to be banished from our society. Should not be given treated as a deity or royalty or someone to look up. This man is the epitome of evil. This man have blood on his shoulders. Yes. So the NIA, there's not an NIA. It's an evil man. That man you're looking at right there. So we're just going to give you an expose about him. Because these are not people that are supposed to be even in our media, giving interviews and telling people about integrity. Because he has done. Many Jamaicans are unaware that Dr. Trevor Munroe is one of the primary contributors to the gold culture that has plagued our nation for decades. While he now pretends to be a decent and upstanding figure, the truth is far from different. In Jamaica we don't have any journalists or people that hold people accountable because they're afraid, and that it's the elites who are I have said to you people before that the elites are the real criminals in Jamaica, and he's one of them, not because he's not convicted of a crime, but he's one of them who has contributed to the criminal culture in Jamaica. I've said it before, this is a man who has his PhD, and he was a violent producer and one who contributed to terrorism in Jamaica from the 70s. Even at one point he was chopped, severely injured by Border Boy and fed him up. Yes, when they were demonstrating for when Michael Manley was the Prime Minister. I'm just talking from memory about this man. I remember I'm from Jonestown, so I'm telling you about this man, the epitome of evil. So while he pretends to be a decent and upstanding figure, the truth is far from different. Behind the facade of respectability lies a history of actions that have sown violence and discord across Jamaica. Yeah, so this is a man who issue guns like crazy all over in Jamaica. But I am talking about of personal experience that I have known of. 2 of my cousins, one of them is dead. Yes. So that's why I don't like criminals, period. Because these are people that destroy many poor ghetto youths' lives. Yeah, men like Dr. Trevor Munroe, Michael Manley and the likes. So when some people would heard and said that I hate the PNP or its leader. It's because of the gun culture and the lives that they have destroyed. They weren't about building Jamaica for a betterment. They were about destroying Jamaica for them to maintain power. That's why I despise them. Yes, not until they change course, and the culture is still there. So we're just outing out the people that we know who have contributed to the violence and the killings in Jamaica, and he's one of them. Who are the people they put on pedestal. All of these people in the journalists. That's why I tell you that these people are your enemies. When I was growing up, my mother and my father did not let us listen to JBC, the radio. We could watch JBC, the news, with Dennis Hall. My father used to call him Wet Rat. He used to live in Edgewater. Driver a red Lada. Lada was a big car back then. And he used to live in at Edgewater, and he used to smoke on TV and read in the news. That's how it was back then. Dennis Hall, and he was the man that with school challenge quiz. Most Jamaicans don't really want the truth. They want constant reassurance of what they believe is the truth. So that this is going to offend many of them, many Jamaicans, especially those who have communist likings or people who are affiliated with the PNP criminal organization. And that's why they say, you're a Labourite. No, I am not. I am a Jamaican. Most of you don't understand where I'm coming from. That's why I'm just trying to save lives. I am one of the fortunate ones. Two of us have from my community where I was born and raised is still alive. Jonestown and Concrete Jungle. I am not selfish. If I was selfish, I am doing fine, quite fine where I'm at. I can't complain about my life financially in any way. You understand? If I do that, God will take away my blessing. I am blessed and I have give thanks for where I'm at. I didn't reach here by myself. I got help along the way from many people, including, although I've never mentioned his name, by, my primary care manager. I have never called his name because you don't want to put people's names out there in the crosshair, because I have created so many enemies on YouTube, and I don't want to put people out there and their names so that others, look at them sideways and want to harm them because of me. I have gotten help along the way. I did not reach where I reached all by myself. So that's why this channel is all about saving lives. So moving on. So Dr. Trevor Munroe, involvement in arming young men with deadly weapons such as M16 rifles, AK-47 rifles, and 9mm pistols directly fuel the gun culture that continues to devastate our communities. His distribution of these firearms was not done in the interest of justice or community safety, but rather as a means to secure political power through fear and violence. And this is the man that's telling us about. He's the Director of National Integrity Agency. Integrity what? He has none. Zero. So despite his current efforts to present himself as a champion of integrity and social justice, his past tell a different story. The culture of violence that he helped to create has cost countless lives and continues to undermine the safety and well-being of Jamaicans. His actions have left a legacy of destruction that cannot be easily erased. So the moment if you forget them past, move on. No, we can't forget, because you is responsible for the death of thousands of Jamaicans. Yes, thousands, because guns, sometimes one gun, how many people that gun kill. And that's how he wanted to come to power in Jamaica, by using violence. But so it was the WPJ and the PNP and the JLP. The WPJ was a breakaway of the PNP criminal organization. So DK Duncan and all these guys, that's why the PNP is not a democratic party, Because if you notice the system of selecting their candidate, it's all about the party leader, if the party leader like you. So you have to be like a kiss-up person. So even that, they need to change in the constitution in time, if and when Jamaica become a republic, change that selection, and when it come on to the political selection for a person to represent a political party, not the leader can give you the nod, but the people, the voters, are supposed to decide. Not no leader come on board says this person is polling bad and this and that. All of these things are lies and gimmicks. Period. Criminals them. It's a criminal system the way that they have designed it. It's not a democratic system. So Jamaica is not a democratic country. Whether or not you want to believe it. Fascism as its best. Because the leader decide who they want to represent the party in the elections. And that shouldn't be. It's supposed to be the people who do that. The people in the constituency determine. And the representatives should live where the people them live. They're supposed to live in the same community. They're not supposed to live uptown and represent the people that are Concrete Jungle and Jonestown. No. Or they might fix the infrastructure. Because they're not living there. So they don't care about the people. They just come give them like $5 grand and them licky and them love them. You understand? So it's time for Jamaicans to see through the charade and recognize the true impact of Dr. Munroe's actions. The gun culture that he contributed to has caused immense suffering, and no amount of rhetoric can change that fact. We must hold him accountable for his role in perpetuating violence and ensure that all understand his true legacy. Dr. Trevor Munroe was not just a partisan, but a founding member of the Communist Workers' Party of Jamaica, that's WPJ. So, whether or not you want to believe it, the NIA, that the National Integrity Agency, and Jamaican for Justice lack of credibility and alignment with the PNP criminal organization. So you see these both women. If you notice, just most Jamaicans, they are really dummies, we are telling you, no more, some. But they don't even know that both organizations, Jamaican for Justice and National Integrity Agency, they are a part of the PNP criminal organization. And most people do not understand even the emblem, the symbol that represented both agencies are the same symbol that represent the PNP criminal organization. So that's why we tell you that they have no integrity. Jamaican for Justice, National Integrity Agency, part of the PNP. The Jamaica Labour Party, the Jamaica Labour Party, they don't have any human rights group or defend criminals. PNP, that they are one. PNP, they are the one that destroyed Jamaica. And why we are at this juncture right now. They are all against progress for the people. They are all about killing to maintain power, and lies. Yes, and Dr. Trevor Munroe is one of them, and these two female right here. What she said, Jamaica must be consulted before amending constitution. So these are the people who are standing in the way of us, for the Jamaican people to have a republic, all because of one big belly white man who was born in England. To show you that they are traitors. They're just all about power. They don't care or love Jamaica. If you love Jamaica, you would support the current government that want Jamaica to be a republic and free itself from Britain. But no, these are people, all they care about is power. So you see the woman in the bottom who's in the green. She have a license firearm and she travel with it in her bag. Her name is Michael Jackson. The other one up by the top, she has a license firearm too, and she travel with it in her handbag. That you call purse. So moving on. As we tell you already, said Dr. Trevor Munroe. So the WPG is a communist party, and the symbol was a tree. Yeah, so they walk with trees. And I can tell you, in the 1986 local government election in Trevor Munroe, he was issuing guns in Waterford. Another part of Portmore for his party to win. And one of the, I don't remember his name, one of the guys who received a M16 and a 9mm pistol, it was Ox. Same Ox that I used to work with, Donovan O'Connor, killed him along Portland West. He drives a Mini, I don't remember his name, a Rasta man. And the same people said that it was Dr. Trevor Munroe that sent the police them to kill him and take the gun from him because he had asked him to return the gun and he refused. So the police came on Saturday morning, kill him and get both guns. Yeah, it was done by Ox was the one that killed him. At the time I was going to high school. Yes, when that happened in the summer of 1986. I don't remember the dread name, but they killed him along Portland. It was near to Juni and near to Tercel Pathway in Waterford. So moving on. So on the his leadership, Dr. Trevor Munroe, the WPJ became a stronghold of communist thoughts in Jamaica, deeply influenced by Soviet Union's principle. If you know what Soviet Union mean, that's how Russia, same thing with them, just tell lie and all of them things, and them will tell us it's raining and the sun is shining and all these things. Trevor Munroe, so he was getting funding from the Russians to destroy Jamaica. That's why we were able to bring in the AK-47 and the M16 and the 9mm pistol. And because these people were seen as elites, they were allowed to move freely in Jamaica with illegal guns in them car trunks. And they issue it, and police would not, and because the police them licky, if them police stop them, before the police them even search and just give the police them some money, the money just change them and they don't even remember so them for search the vehicle. Licky police. So they knew how to manipulate them. And just by injecting his name, they know that they must back off. So that's how these people used to do their thing. And he's one of them who helped destroy the Jamaican people psyche. So Munroe involvement in the WPJ reflected his firm commitment to a radical vision for Jamaica's future, rooted in a Marxist-Lenin framework that sought to transform the nation through revolutionary means. So this is not a man who believes in a democracy, he believes in violence, so that he wanted to bring to Jamaica to continue to destroy the people's psyche and inject violence into them. So that's why we're at this juncture. The PMP and WPJ. Remember, during the 80s, the most wanted men in Jamaica were predominantly 99.9% PMP men that were wanted. Let me tell you. So if you can go back in the archives and look in the Star and the Gleaner. In the Star, used to be on the front page where you would say 10 most wanted men. All of them are PMP gunmen. Natty Chris, this, that General Starkey, all of them, PMP. 99 points. So they are the real terrorists in Jamaica, because they are the one that received the guerrilla training in Cuba and the use of weapons and all of these things to kill Jamaicans. Yes, WPJ and the PMP. Both of them are cousins, WPJ and the PMP. Lambert Brown is a former WPJ member to communist. These and DK Duncan, these were people, if Michael Mann win 1980, they would assassinate him, just like how they assassinated the Grenadian Prime Minister, Maurice Bishop, in 1983 October. Most of you don't even know that because you don't read. And I'm not going to teach you that. I know our media houses, especially the Gleaner, they want you keep the people them docile and ignorant, so them not go educate you. All the journalists them too, most of them they are corrupt too. The Dean Jackson Millers, all of them, majority of them, Emily Shields. So when these people interviewing all of these people, they're treating them like deity, as if they have contributed positively to Jamaica. So with all the journalists of Jamaica, all we have are those people that are part of the cabal. All of them corrupt. I am telling you that as a Jamaican. So however, in the early 1990s, a dramatic shift occurred in Munroe's political trajectory. Faced with global changes of the time, particularly the collapse of the Soviet Union, Munroe decided to disband the WPJ. I'm not funding to come in anymore. This decision was not merely a reaction to international events, but also an acknowledgement that the ideological foundation upon which the WPJ was built had crumbled. So America destroyed. This man was an enemy of America, because communism was everything that's antithetical towards the West. Because the West believe in a freedom. Although them do them things, although them claim say freedom, if you especially in Central or South America, you were against them and them banana thing, them have way for just kill you and them thing there. America used to do that. So them used to install puppets all over in Central America too. So, and although it was democracy, but them have them way of spin things, and them have them way of tell lies and run with people, make some leaders have to run with. That's how it is. But in the 21st century now, it's not that easy to get away with lies anymore. because people eyes open and them don't control information anymore, because those who control information control the narrative. Yeah, so despite his claim of embracing a more inclusive and democratic political landscape in Jamaica, the scar of his earlier political activities cannot be ignored. The disbandment of the WPJ may have been a pragmatic choice. Still, it does not erase the influence of Munroe in promoting a divisive and extremist ideology that sought to reshape Jamaica in a manner that many argued was detrimental to its social fabric. So in time to hear that Jamaica was about to become a communist island, and if it was Edward Seaga, this man, is a part of the PMP. WPJ is a communist party, is a PMP stepchild, or the PMP child. So they were part of the PMP also, WPJ. So don't make nobody fool on them things. Edward Seaga, why most of you who in Jamaica right now have freedom, or else these people would have been in charge of the government. Communists like Cuba. And I drive 1940 had cars. I want to be educated. Because the PMP do not believe in education and believe in keeping it ignorant so that you can kill each other so that them stay in a power. And we won't have no democracy. So considering Munroe's legacies, it's essential to examine this so-called transition critically. Did it genuinely represent a newfound commitment to democracy? Or was it merely a calculated shift to align with changing tides of global politics? So that is what he did. If the Soviet Union did not collapse, he would not disband the Workers' Party of Jamaica, WPJ, which is a communist party. You know many guns them issue. Even when I was a young police officer in Clarendon in the 80s, I remember a special that is from Water Lane, and based on where I'm from, Concrete Jungle, and he was telling me about how many guns Trevor Munroe brought down to Water Lane in South Clarendon. A policeman, So we were sharing, he was telling me about things that he experienced, but because I was raised a certain way, some things that I have spoken about is because of this channel. Reason being, it's just that he that keepeth his mouth, keepeth his life. So that's why, because I am older now, and even when I was a police officer, I never shared that with police of either, because you don't know who is who. So that's why now I'm in a comfortable place where I can talk what I know. I could have talked then, but I didn't. I didn't share it with certain people. Or you understand, because you were warned by your parents, especially my mother. Because most of the people that I am talking about, they are related to my mother. My father, family, totally different. You understand? So they are more police and all of these things. And some of my mother family are police officers too and all of these things, but some real corrosion. But I am not going to make any excuse of them, because some of them are educated too. Man who got a Kingston College, Bright, and all kind of thing, can't speak how many language, but get caught up in this ideology. Yes, he know himself, because I know him listen right now. I know him could have changed the hands of time. He would not allow them to use him and destroy him life. You understand? I'm not call him name still. So, moving on. So, for a man who once championed a rigid communist agenda, the abrupt pivot to democratic ideals warrant skepticism. Jamaica deserves leaders whose dedication to democracy and social justice has been consistent, not those who conveniently shift their stance when it suits their political survival. So what he did now with the National Integrity Agency, or what you want to call it, is to save himself and make himself relevant, but him not do it genuinely, because this man is a communist at heart. Communism don't believe in democratic ideals. This man should be shunned from society and publicly shamed. This is one of the men who helped destroy Jamaica with the gold culture. I don't know how, but when as we said before, I told the people before that our biggest enemies in Jamaica are the media houses. Yes, so I'm going to tell the piece of the media houses in Jamaica are your biggest enemies. So here is a prime example. This man, Trevor Munroe, should not be given any credence or any relevance in Jamaica's discourse. This man's supposed to be shunned, this man's supposed to be disbanded, and this man is a tainted man. He lacks integrity. Remember, he was involved in arming and sending fighters to Central America in the 1980s. Yes, I have a family member by my mother's side, and I said it before, one of them is still alive. He was a brigadista too. So that's why when I speak about the PNP, a criminal organization, I know what I'm talking about, because these are people that destroy youth's lives. How on God's earth you have a nation and you want to rule it because you want to terrorize the citizens? I cannot and will never support anything like that. That's why I say, as you have listened, if you have listened to a guy named Japink, you would heard I told him, he was saying both political parties are the same, and Michael Manley and Edward, and I told him the difference. You can't. Edward Seaga never said a single Jamaican to train overseas to come back and terrorize Jamaicans. It was the other way around. The PNP sent over 2,500 young men to Cuba to return and terrorize the Jamaican people for power. It's all about numbers and votes, so they did not care about the lives that they kill, that they take. And he was one of them. I know this woman and him talking about, even when they're talking about the illicit sex, you know that it was anyone can just make a report against another person, whether true or not, and they have to come out with a report. What kind of nonsense is that? That's corruption 101. And if you notice, these people, they are never for the rule of law and looking out for the Jamaican people. They are always looking out for criminals and the PNP criminal organization. They don't love Jamaican. They are not patriots. You don't even see this man, Trevor Munroe, coming out defending Jamaica to become a republic. Silent as a lamb, but yet still they claim that they are patriots. They are not unpatriotic. This man should be thrown to the wolves to be eaten, because this man has destroyed many lives, if hundreds or thousands. Many Jamaicans are familiar with Dr. Trevor Munroe, having seen him on television, read his statements in newspaper, or heard his interviews on various radio stations. He often speaks of integrity, as if he were its champion. But what our media houses and journalists have failed to tell you, the Jamaican people, is the dark truth about this man. Dr. Trevor Munroe is not the embodiment of integrity, but rather the epitome of evil, wickedness, and vile intentions. His communist leanings and immoral actions have left a trail of destruction, particularly among young men of Jamaica and families. From the 1970s to the early 1990s, Dr. Trevor Munroe played a pivotal role in arming young men in the Kingston metropolitan areas with M16 rifles and 9mm pistols. These weapons were not merely tools, they were instruments of death that fueled violence and claimed countless lives. The bloodshed did not discriminate whether they were supporters of the PNP criminal organization or the Jamaica Labour Party. Young men were caught in the crossfire, and many paid the ultimate price for their political affiliations. Dr. Munroe's actions have deeply scarred the nation, contributing to a legacy of violence and division that still haunt us today. It's time for our Jamaicans to see beyond the carefully curated image presented by the media and recognize the true nature of this man. His past is not one of integrity, but of spite, malice, and malevolence. And we must hold him accountable for the lives he has destroyed and the pain he has inflicted on our communities. Furthermore, it is essential to recognize that Dr. Trevor Munroe was not just an influential figure in Jamaica, but also a sponsor of terrorism and an ally of anti-American forces. His ties with the Soviet Union and Cuba, where he frequently traveled, reveal his deep connections to regimes that were hostile to democratic values and peace. Dr. Munroe is far from the angelic figure he might portray himself as. He lacks integrity, character, a soul, ethics, decency, humanity, truthfulness, and any sense of godliness. Above all, he lacks the qualities of a true Jamaican patriot. This man's actions have devastated our nation, and he should be shunned from public life and banished from any position of influence. His involvement in the destruction of countless lives is unforgivable. He did not just destroy the lives of two of my cousins from my mother's side of the family in East Kingston / Warwicker Hills. He has torn apart the fabric of our communities with his ruthless distribution of weapons. I am prepared to provide evidence if Dr. Munroe dares to deny these accusations. I can produce photographs of one of my cousins to whom he issued M16 rifles and 9mm pistols. As a young officer in Clarendon, I learned firsthand that the M16 rifles and AK-47s flooded southern Clarendon were courtesy of Dr. Munroe's actions. There was a Rastaman named Basso. Him was PMP criminal organization, and him big him up all the time. When him died jail, him charged with murder. He was not a nation builder. He was a nation divider, using gun violence to take lives and sow discord. Jamaica deserves better than to be led astray by someone who has caused so much harm. And it's time for the truth to be known, and for Dr. Munroe to be held accountable for the pain and suffering he has inflicted on this country. His legacy is one of violence and division, not of unity and progress that our nations so desperately need. Dr. Trevor Munroe sent one of my cousins to Central America in the early 1980s to fight alongside socialist groups. This decision has devastating consequences, as some of my cousin's friends were killed during the brutal civil war there. Dr. Munroe's actions make it clear that he does not believe in democracy. His agency, the National Integrity Agency, is an extension of the PMP criminal organization, tainted by remnants of communist wing, including figures like Senator Lambert Brown. Given my mother's family involvement during that time, I am deeply familiar with these individuals. However, my parents fiercely protected their children, and their strong guidance saved us from falling into the traps Munroe and his associates set. Their influence and reach have been toxic, contributing to a culture of violence and destruction that has plagued our nation for decades. In 1986, in the community of Waterford, St. Catherine, where I was living, during the local government election, Dr. Trevor Munroe played a direct role in fueling political violence by handing over M16 rifles and 9mm pistols to men in the area. This act was not about protecting the community or promoting justice. It was a calculated move to secure victory for his party, whose symbol was a tree. Munroe's actions during this time were driven by a ruthless desire to win at all costs. Even it meant arming young men with deadly weapons and pushing them into the cycle of violence and destruction. This distribution of firearms was a blatant attempt to intimidate and overpower political opponents, undermining the very principle of democracy that Munroe later claimed to support. The use of force to secure political power is a tactic that has left deep scars in communities like Waterford, where the consequence of such action continue to be felt to this day. Also in other parts of Jamaica, East Kingston and the Kingston metropolitan area. Rather than being remembered for promoting social justice and equality, Munroe's legacy in places like Waterford, East Kingston, and other parts of the Kingston metropolitan area is one of violence and division. His willingness to harm civilians in pursuit of political gain is a stark reminder of the lengths he was willing to go to achieve his objectives, regardless of the human cost. This is not the behavior of a leader committed to democracy or the well-being of his people, but to someone who prioritizes power over peace and integrity. We must remember these actions when evaluating Munroe's legacies and impact on Jamaica. His involvement in arming communities for political purposes is a dark chapter in our nation's history, one that should not be overlooked or forgotten. Jamaicans who have actively contributed to the gun culture and the destruction of innocent lives should be shunned, shamed, and banished from our society. And Dr. Trevor Munroe is one of those persons. These individuals do not deserve a platform to preach their false righteousness, when in truth they are the embodiment of evil, Satan incarnate. Dr. Trevor Munroe and others like him are not needed leaders. They are the architects of the divisions and suffering. We must reject their influence and hold them accountable for the pain they have inflicted on our country. Their legacies should be remembered, not with honor, but with disgrace they rightfully deserve. Here are some of the accolades that have been unjustly bestowed upon Dr. Trevor Munroe, a man who has done little to make Jamaica a better place to live, work, and raise a family. Trevor Munroe, a prominent figure in Jamaican politics and civil society. Dr. Trevor Munroe is often hailed as a highly respected Jamaican academic, political scientist, and civil society activist. He is widely recognized for his supposed contributions to understanding Jamaican politics and his alleged lifelong dedication to promoting good governance and social justice. However, his glowing image hides a darker reality. Dr. Munroe's actions and affiliations throughout his career have done more harm than good for the people of Jamaica. Despite the accolades and honors he has received, the truth is that his influence has contributed to the violence, division, and destruction that have plagued our society. Instead of fostering an environment where families can thrive, Munroe's actions often fuel instability and fear. His ties to socialist groups, involvement in arming young men, and promotion of ideologies that have torn communities apart reveal a legacy far removed from the ideals of good governance and social justice. The accolades may paint a picture of a man committed to progress, but the reality is that Dr. Munroe's contribution have not made Jamaica safer or a better place. We must look beyond the surface and recognize the true impact of his actions on our nation. Rather than being celebrated, he should be held accountable for perpetuating violence and division in our society. Trevor Munroe, a prominent figure in Jamaican politics and civil society, is a respected Jamaican. He is widely recognized for his significant contribution to understanding Jamaican politics, dedication to promoting good governance and social justice. So key points about Dr. Trevor Munroe: academic background. He holds a PhD from Oxford University and a professor emeritus at the University of the West Indies. No wonder we have so many criminal sympathizers out of them places. I have a criminal. I teach the people them to be sympathetic to criminals. political involvement. Dr. Munroe was the founding member of the Communist Workers' Party of Jamaica, which he later disbanded to form a new political party. He also served as a senator in Jamaican Parliament. All a criminal like him in a parliament. A man have to come and fix for a crime to be a criminal, because all of the tendency that he has, he was trying to use terrorism to become, to have power in Jamaica. So him shouldn't be in our parliament. Civil society activism. He co-founded Citizens, the Citizen Action for Free and Fair Election, CAFE, a prominent election observer in Jamaica. That was in the 80s, 90s. I don't even know what happened to it. So him claims him an anti-corruption activist, one of my biggest corruptor in Jamaica right now. Dr. Munroe is the principal director of the National Integrity Action. Our agency, Action, see, a leading anti-corruption organization in Jamaica. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Yeah, not shame on me. You can't fool me, because you now have nothing named integrity. Author and scholar. He has authored several books and articles on Caribbean politics and governance. I've never read nothing with this man, right? Because we don't know from where I grew on him thinking that the man is Satan. Big time. So we have some additional information about him. Dr. Trevor Munroe, early life and education were in Jamaica. He has been a vocal critic of corruption and has worked tirelessly to promote transparency and accountability in government. All the money falls, the money fall with them false righteousness. His work has had significant impact on Jamaican society and politics. We know say he's the founding member of the Communist Workers' Party. He played a pivotal role in the party's formation and ideology. However, in a significant shift in his political trajectory, Munroe decided to disband the WPJ in the early 1990s. At the time, Michael Manley down and them games Senate seat for keep him quiet, because I'm an antagonist to, So this decision was influenced by the global changes occurring at the time, particularly the collapse of Soviet Union. So this man, Dr. Trevor Munroe, is not a good person. Although he might pretend say him relentless in the crusade against corruption in Jamaica, and he's a principal director of National Integrity Action, a leading anti-corruption organization in the country. Through NIA, he has been instrumental. We are raising public awareness about detrimental effects of corruption on society. When him one of the biggest corruptor. The guy who's in charge of the, what do you call the agency again? The oversight agents, the one that get shot the other day. Yes. The Integrity Commission, the Integrity Commissioner and no integrity either. Yes. That agency where the guy named Ryan Evans was shot, and the man refused to give police him a statement, because the people that shot him are people that he know, because him saw the video, he know who shot him. So that's why no one give a statement. So you see them are a real criminal, and them are tell about Integrity Commission, and them not no integrity. So him say we are collaborating with civil society to combat corruption when they're my biggest corruptor. These people allow them, it's called the National Integrity Action, and the Jamaican for Justice, they are arms of the PNP criminal organization. Just look at the fist, so don't be fooled. But through them know the majority of Jamaicans, well, not majority, them know them voters are ignoramus. And them not care, and them not all about party, because them don't control them mind. They are programmed like organoid robots. Unlike yours truly, them can't control me. That's why them not like me, because I can talk all of the things. And these are the people who are responsible for the destruction of the Jamaican people's psyche. That's why we have so many criminals in Jamaica, because of them. Because them put criminal murderers on a pedestal. And the PNP hasn't changed, because the PNP and the WPG are brothers and sisters. So Munroe leadership in the anti-corruption movement has significantly impacted Jamaica's effort to create a more just and equitable society. So as we say, I'm a doctor of philosophy from Oxford University, And Munroe research has influenced the understanding of Jamaican and Caribbean politics. His publications have been widely cited, scholar and policy makers alike. This is not a man who's supposed to be held in high esteem. This is a man who's supposed to be banished from all walks of life in Jamaica. This is not a good person, you know. Dr. Trevor Munroe supposed to be banished from Jamaican society. The legacy of Dr. Trevor Munroe is far from an image of respectable leader that he attempts to portray. While he may present himself as a champion of integrity and social justice, his actions tells a different story, one marked by a deep involvement in fueling gun culture and perpetuating violence or political gain. His past, particularly his role in arming communities and contributing to a cycle of violence that still haunts our nation, cannot be ignored. Jamaicans deserve leaders who genuinely prioritize the safety, unity, and well-being of our people, not those who manipulate and harm communities for their own power. It is essential that we see through the facade and hold Dr. Munroe accountable for the true impact of his action. Only by acknowledging and confronting this dark chapter in our history can we begin to heal and build a future where peace, integrity, and justice truly prevail. Dr. Trevor Munroe should be banished, shunned, shamed publicly as a man who, as one of the persons who helped contribute to this gun culture, murder, and turn Jamaica into the murder capital of the world. Dr. Trevor Munroe was the epitome of evil and Satan incarnate. Have yourself a beautiful day. This is Christopher Porter. Yeah, I want to come kill me. Remember, you know, when I come and bring an ID. Have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.